President Donald Trump signed legislation to fund the government again, putting an end to the longest government shutdown in U.S. history. Trump signaled Monday the government would open soon as consequences of a lapse in funding continued to snowball, including missed paychecks for federal workers and airline delays stemming from air traffic controller staffing shortages. The bill keeps funding the government at the same levels during fiscal year 2025 through January 30th to provide additional time to hash out a longer appropriations measure for fiscal year 2026. The measure also funds the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program (SNAP) that more than 42 million Americans rely on through September. The program supports NAN or low-income individuals or families to purchase groceries on a debit card. Additionally, the measure reverses layoffs the Trump administration set into motion earlier in October and pays employees for their absence. The reopening of the government comes after more than 40 days of a lapse in funding amid a stalemate between Senate Republicans and Democrats over a stopgap spending bill that would have funded the government through November 21st. After a lapse in funding starting October 1st, the Senate passed legislation Monday night that would reopen the government by a 60-40 vote margin. A total of 8 Democrats voted alongside their Republican counterparts for the measure. The House subsequently passed its version of the measure Wednesday. The deal came as fallout from the shutdown came to a head, including travel disruptions at U.S. airports where air traffic controllers and Transportation Security Administration (TSA) officers were required to work and were gearing up to miss a second paycheck. As a result, these staffers were calling in sick or taking on second jobs, creating staffing shortages and flight delays. The standoff between Republicans and Democrats originated over disagreements about various healthcare provisions to include in a potential funding measure. Trump and Republicans claimed Democrats wanted to provide illegal immigrants healthcare and pointed to a provision that would repeal part of Trump's tax and domestic policy bill known as the Big Beautiful Bill that reduced Medicaid eligibility for non-U.S. citizens. Democrats pushed back on this characterization and said they want to permanently extend certain Affordable Care Act subsidies that are set to expire at the end of 2025. The stopgap spending bill that Trump signed does not extend these subsidies by the end of the year, but Senate Majority Leader John Thune, RSD, agreed to a vote in December on legislation that would continue these credits.